listening to the Project Ignite podcast,
where real digital entrepreneurs reveal their very best tips, tools, and strategies to help you ignite and grow your online business.
ProjectIgnite.com. Your digital business starts here.
Now, here's your host, Derek Gale.
Hello, Igniters. Welcome to the Project Ignite podcast. You guys know the deal. I skip the hype, skip the BS, and bring you guys real actionable tips and strategies that you can apply to your businesses so you can see them grow. And as you know, it's Derek Gale. And today we're going to be talking about a topic that actually I was interested in. This is what I love about podcasts, because when there's a topic I'm interested in and I want to know more about it, I get to go out and find experts and have them on my show. And then I get to ask them all the questions I want to know. So it's like the perfect conduit for learning for me. And you guys get to learn along the way. And today we're going to be learning about sweepstakes and contests and how to use them effectively in our marketing. And today's guest has worked in the world of contests and sweepstakes for over 30 years. And for the past 20 years, she's run her own marketing consulting business, which has given her, as all consultants get, kind of a both sides of the table picture, right? You get to see it from the company side, you get to see it from the client side. And so she's had a lot of success helping her clients understand and use sweepstakes and contests to help grow their business. She's also the author of 3 best-selling sweepstakes books and is publishing her 4th one this year. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Carolyn Wilman to the show. Carolyn, thank you so much for being here today.
Hi, I love talking sweepstakes marketing and helping businesses succeed with winning.
Good. Well, you're in the right place. And it's interesting because sweepstakes marketing and contests, I mean, it's been around for so long. And I mean, our listeners are going to skew obviously heavily towards online businesses and stuff. And I think it's one of the more neglected or overlooked methodologies for, marketing and growing your business online. So I'm really interested to talk about this, but just give me a little bit of your background. I gave you a brief intro there, but how did you become the sweepstakes marketing expert that you are today?
Well, I went to school for business and my major was marketing, and I had done traditional marketing for 15 years before I got into the sweepstakes realm. And that gave me a really good base to understand the sweepstakes marketing aspect. I got caught in the dot-com bubble and I found myself unemployed. And at that point, I was reading a Reader's Digest article about a couple who enhanced their lifestyle entering contests and giveaways. And I thought, what a great idea. I don't have to work. I'll just win stuff. Yeah, it does not work that way.
Yeah. Sounds good.
It sounds good. But it really opened a door. So what I started doing was entering sweepstakes. I made every mistake in the book. And then I figured it out and I had a system and I started winning quite a bit. At the same time, I had a baby and I wasn't going to get hired anywhere anyway. So I just was at home doing all the back end marketing in my husband's business. Admin still happens. Mm-hmm. And raising our daughter and entering sweepstakes as a hobby. I started to win quite a bit. And when I was ready to go back to work, someone said to me, you should write a book. I thought, what a good idea. And then while starting the research, someone to me, why would you give away all your secrets? Mm-hmm. I thought, oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So I decided to speak to a girlfriend. I was going over to a girlfriend's house, have coffee, talk about it. And on the way, I took a different route. And on the way, I passed a church, and on the service announcement board, it said, you can't lose helping others win. And I thought, that's a message for me. It was like intuitive. Wow. I knew it. Yeah, right then and there, I knew I was going to write the book. And so I started researching and putting together the book, and I created Contest Queen. I call it the hub of all things contesting, because when I started, there was no resource to find. If I wanted to find a sweepstakes aggregator newsletter, where did I go? If I wanted to know the best tools for entering, where did I go? There was no cohesive place. And so that's what I did. I gathered all this stuff up and put it into one place. So a beginner has a starting point, and doesn't make all the mistakes. That's why I wrote the book. I said, don't do what I did. Here's what you should do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I started. And then I started using my marketing background to then help companies run better sweepstakes. And only last year did I finally actually split the two apart, and I put it. So now I have two websites. Contest Queen just teaches people how to win. And I started Idea Majesty. You know, I had to keep the crown.
Sure. Obviously.
Idea Majesty just does like sweepstakes marketing, digital marketing. I have clients I don't do any sweepstakes marketing for. I do customer service, Facebook, group management, right, the regular stuff.
Right.
But then I also do contest fulfillment, contest vetting.
Yeah.
Seminars. All
So
that
that's
stuff.
fascinating. I didn't expect that to be the path that you started out entering contests and sweepstakes, and it's just because you had the marketing background that you were able to put two and two together. That's really interesting. So okay, so you have systems to effectively win sweepstakes more and contests.
Well, part of it is back to the marketing because I understood it. How many of us marketers have taken sales training? What's the funnel, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got the sales funnel. You cold call a lot of people, then you get the warm leads, you get the hot ones, you make a few sales. Guess what? Entering sweepstakes, no different. You enter a lot of sweepstakes. Some of them funnel through. Some of them you win the smaller prizes. Sometimes you hit an instant. Once in a while you win a grand prize. It's exactly the same thing.
Wow.
It's amazing how much the hobby correlates to marketing and sales.
That's fascinating. I never even thought about that. Okay, so what's the biggest thing you've ever won?
Okay, I answer that three ways.
Okay, all right.
So the most expensive was a trip for 4 to the Winter Olympics when they were in Vancouver, Canada.
Oh, damn. Wow. That was worth
That
a
was
lot.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was worth a lot because everything's jacked up. The only disappointment I had was in the rules, it stated they would feed us the whole time. And then when they arrived, they gave us a $75 Visa gift card for 4 days. And just a hot dog. A hot dog and 2 drinks.
Sure.
At one of the events was $15. So I'm like, yeah, that ain't gonna cut it.
No,
But it was
not
really
at
fun.
all. Wow. Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay. All right. That's a solid win.
And then my favorite was a weekend in London, England, to go to Leavesden Studios in 2005. And we were on the Harry Potter set. We were the first people outside of cast and crew to be on the set. It was a contest run in 30 countries around the world. It was what they called fancy dress. And I knew, because I lived in Australia when I was 20, I knew what fancy dress was in England. It means a costume party.
Yeah.
So a lot of the Americans came in like ball gowns and tuxedos, and I looked like Professor Trelawney. I dressed up in costume.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had my daughter was really little. She tells people she's been to Hogwarts, and they're like, no, you haven't. She's like, I've really been to Hogwarts.
I have.
Right? So that's cool because who can say that? I have a picture of me in Dumbledore's chair. I mean,
that's
it's just
awesome.
It's awesome. And then my favorite, I could say it's priceless. I got to meet Sting.
Yeah.
And he was such a gentleman. He met everybody that attended the lecture. And so it was a talk he was giving and being interviewed.
Mm-hmm.
He graciously met everybody, said, thank you for listening to my music. And he took pictures in groups of 10, and I ended up beside him, and he had his arm around me, and he smelled really good. I was like, but what was really funny is he had on these Keds that looked like they were ready to fall off his feet. He looked like a bit of a pauper, and I thought, well, isn't that interesting? Huh. Right?
Yeah.
He didn't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I thought,
when you sting, you don't have to care.
But I'm sad the pandemic has really changed the entire landscape of the hobby. Like all the stuff I was really good at winning has disappeared. Concert tickets, movie tickets.
For now. Yeah.
Everything's gone. Right now they're big on cash prizes, TVs, electronics, because they're germ free and they can just ship them.
Yeah, this is temporary though, right? Like, 2022, there's going to be so much demand for travel once we
Oh, I
finally,
miss it.
oh God, I'm itching. And it's gonna, if anything, I think, using travel as a prize is going to be a hot commodity again, because so many people will want to, right? Okay. So, well, let's dive in. That's a fascinating story. Let's dive into this, and let's start at the beginning. When we say sweepstakes marketing, what are we doing here?
Okay. So what I tell people is not to run a sweepstakes just because. If sweepstakes should be part of your overall marketing plan. You should already have a marketing plan
And
for the year.
Sorry to interrupt, just to clarify, when we say sweepstakes, a sweepstakes by definition, because I have a lot of listeners around the world and they may not just be familiar with the term sweepstakes, it's just a contest, right?
Okay. So let me start there.
Okay.
So a sweepstakes, by definition, and also if they're in some countries, the word sweepstakes and competition are the same thing.
Okay.
And giveaway. So I use the word sweepstakes, contest, giveaway, competition. They're all interchangeable to me.
Yes.
But the legal definition, and this will be fascinating to some, the legal definition between a lottery, a sweepstakes, and a contest. A lottery has a prize for you pay a consideration for a chance at a prize. A sweepstakes has the consideration removed, and a contest has the chance removed. So in Canada, sweepstakes are illegal.
Yeah, I thought so.
So
as a
some
Canadian,
lawyer
I don't have them.
figured out a long time ago that if you ask a skill testing question, it therefore by legal definition becomes a contest and not a sweepstakes. And that's why in Canada we have contests and not sweepstakes.
And there's
and
always
why
a
we answer skill testing questions.
Yeah. Okay.
So yes, there's always a loophole, right?
And they're the
lawyers are always
easiest
gonna find the
questions. Like
loopholes.
there's nothing hard about the skill testing question.
Now, I have a little beef with some marketers because it should always be math. They don't always do that because we're an international melting pot of all types of cultures. Yeah. Math is universal.
Yeah.
So there's no language barrier. There's no school barrier. I mean, they might not learn Canadian history if they come over from Europe or from Asia or right.
But is that only Canada?
There's no barriers. Math is math.
Right. But the skill testing question is a Canadian thing. It's not a US thing.
Right. It's not a US thing, but they pay taxes on their winnings. There's a lot of little nuances in the laws.
Yeah.
And in the UK, I don't know how many years ago, but they removed the no purchase entry option. So if there's a box of cereal that has a code in it to enter a sweepstakes, in Canada and the US, and I believe Australia still, I'm not sure about some other countries, in the rules, there has to be an option, write a 50-word essay, mail it in an envelope with, why you love, XYZ cereal, and we're going to send you a code or email it or whatever it is. In the UK, they don't have to do that anymore. So if you want in, you have to buy the cereal or the chocolate bar or the soda pop or whatever it is.
Okay. All right. Reasonable. I mean, in the greater scope.
Yeah, the laws change from country to country, but the overall premise of the hobby and using it as a marketing tool is the same. You want to use a giveaway to make your current customers happy and to attract new potential customers.
Okay, so now let's say, and I know this is a question that's bubbling in people's minds, is okay, I'm in Canada and I run a contest or sweepstakes, whatever you want to call it, and it's online, so it's not country specific. Do I just have to follow the rules in my country?
Sort of. So for example, I run a lot of little giveaways for myself, and some of them, depending on what it is, I'll make it Canada and the US, or sometimes I say worldwide. So for example, every month I give away to potential entrants a 1-hour free one-on-one masterclass with me to help them overcome their hurdles with the sweepstakes. And they love it. They ask me all the questions. Oh, I'm having trouble with Twitter. I don't understand Instagram. Yeah. How do I do this? So I spend an hour with them and I show them. So I put it on, I host it on raffle. I use Rafflecopter on my website, and it's very simple. They have to just, share and follow and whatnot. And I follow Canadian rules.
Okay.
But it's open to everybody. But I'm also only giving away a small prize.
Yeah.
If you're giving away something massive, if you're a larger company, before you start the contest process, please go speak to a promotional lawyer. There's lawyers that specialize in promotional law, just like estate law, just like family law, just like corporate law. There's a speciality.
Yeah.
And make sure you want to have the rules locked down tight before you continue. A lot of times companies will hire an agency. They'll be mid-sized to fairly large. They'll hire an agency, or their internal marketing department will start the process, and they go, oh yeah, we're supposed to have rules. So they'll get a hold of the lawyer, and the lawyer goes, you can't do that. That's not legal. This isn't legal. So get the rules. So my number one tip to entrants is always read the rules. And my number one tip to marketers is make sure you have your rules locked down tight.
Right. And so just to clarify that for the listeners, I mean, if you're big and you're running a big contest, lawyers. For people that are small businesses giving away an iPod or something like that for sharing, you probably don't need to consult a lawyer for something little.
No, and there are already rules. Like if you use like a Gleam and a WooBox and a Rafflecopter, they have generic rules embedded, and you just go fill out your fields like start date, end date, who it's open to, your address, that kind of stuff. It's already there because it's simple. Sometimes I just use straightforward rules. So for example, I was doing some follower giveaways. I was very excited. I was getting to some follower threshold on social media, and I said, hey, I'll give away an Amazon gift card. And I just have simple rules on Facebook, just like and comment where you heard of me, because I was doing a history one. Where did you hear of me? Some people were saying, hey, I found you today. And some people said, oh my gosh, I think I found you 20 years ago. And then I put, who it's open to, when it ends. They have 48 hours to get back to me, or I draw another name. And then I put the Facebook disclaimer. A lot of companies forget that. And I also say, as per the Facebook rules, I'm not allowed to ask you to tag anyone or share, but I would appreciate it if you followed me and shared this just for good karma. I just ask people a lot of people do it, and it's not even getting them an entry, but if you've got a good rapport with your clients, they're going to do it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So so now we kind of understand, the big picture of sweepstakes here. What are some different contest models or sweepstakes that you see that work well, particularly in smaller businesses?
Okay, so I will go over there's 5 ways to run a contest: in person, on the radio, mail in, online, and via your cell phone, like texting.
Okay.
So the best ones for small business, depending on what the small business is in person and via social media, because they're the least expensive, or online if they have a website.
Yeah.
So those are the ones I would focus on. So if you're, now I know with the different areas, there's different lockdowns and whatnot, but in person is great. Fishbowl, drop in your business cards, fill out an entry blank, put it in, get on our newsletter so we can notify you of our next special. You want to cultivate those names, because if social media and other avenues of marketing disappear tomorrow, you need to own your list. So I always say to people, every effort should bring them back to you.
Yes, agreed. Now, knowing my listeners, they'll want to hear about social media and online, because it's going to be 98% online businesses. Right. So let's talk about some of those specific contests and how people are using them.
Okay, so depending on your level of comfort, you can either purchase a service like ShortStack, WooBox. WooBox, I think, is the least expensive at the moment, and it allows you to host giveaways across various channels. It could be on your website, could be on Instagram, depending on where you're doing successful marketing. And then it cultivates the entries, and it helps you do the drawings, and it has the rules, and it makes it really easy because it's all in one place.
Sure.
Right. And then, or you could just do a timeline giveaway where you just post a picture. I did this once. I was cleaning my office and I found all these freebies that I had from all the annual, believe it or not, there's an annual national sweepstakes convention every year. This year it's in Phoenix. I know, right? I'm not going because the travel restrictions are too much.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be small. I think there's only going to be about 400, but I've been to them when there's been 1,100. So it's usually somewhere in between. I had all these things that I collected over the years from all these conventions, and I was trying to downsize. So I thought, I'm just going to give it away. And I literally made piles on the floor of my office, took pictures, stuck them on Instagram, and said, did my little rules, like and comment, and why do you want to win this? And let it go. And I got rid of my stuff. It didn't cost me anything. And people think they have to have these large budgets. I literally gave away stuff I got for free. It cost me the postage and the envelope and the time to go to the mail. And that was it. That was the cost. It was the cheapest, most inexpensive giveaway. And all my followers loved it. So you can, if you get a little bit creative, you don't have to have a big budget. You just have to use you just have to have an idea.
That's an interesting one. I like that. So for everybody listening there, find something that you have sitting around that you think would be valuable to your members or audience, and give it away. And I like this. So, and the thing to point out here too is what you're doing is, hey, like and share. So engaging social media to get people to, or using it to get people to engage on social media. And it's funny, when I look around my office, I'm like, God, there's all sorts of stuff that you could throw up there and people would definitely participate in that. You're right. It doesn't take any time. The other thing that I like what you said, and you said this earlier, is you give away time, in the sense of you'll give away a free consultation each month. And I think for any, consultants, experts, anybody in the information business, that's valuable, because I've got to imagine that when you get on a phone with somebody and you do that 1 hour consult, how often do they turn into a paying client?
They usually end up recommending me to all their friends and buying my books.
Yeah.
So my 1 hour isn't to marketing businesses, it's to entrants. And I actually use Zoom, and I do share screen so I can show them. I've been using Zoom. I used Zoom long before the big boom, and I was paying for the service because I needed the extra time. Because the sharing the screen, I found it's very visual when you enter sweepstakes, and to show them how to use, you need to click here and there, and they're like, well, what is that thing on Twitter? I don't understand. Okay, let's open up the screen, let's look at it. And I walk them through it. Okay, we're going to click this. Okay, can you show me one more time? Sure. We go back and do it again. They love it. They're so amazed at how light bulbs go off and they feel like they're going to win.
Yeah.
I really like that.
So 1 hour of your time each month, and you get all this goodwill online from the people that are participating in it, and it drives business whoever you're talking to. Now, when we talk about contests, like you see, there's all sorts of contests you see that are out there. Some are like super successful as far as engagement, as far as virality as well, versus ones that just kind of fizzle out. What's the difference? If you had to say, here's the 2 or 3 things that make a successful contest successful, what would they be?
First is I call it the field of dreams. People think if they build it, they will come. And I get a lot of companies calling me saying, can you viral market my sweepstakes? Well, first of all, I can't guarantee it'll viral.
Yeah.
Second, I say, okay. And I send them my rate sheet and I go, oh no, we don't have any money in the budget for that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
They just want a miracle, basically.
They don't think it through to the end.
Sure. Yeah.
And also they don't do a lot of back end marketing. One thing I get a lot of is, so who won the sweepstakes? It's almost as if when they start the sweepstakes, they forget about the rest of it. So they don't make another post saying, hey, Susie Q from, XYZ town won our giveaway. Keep following us for more.
Yeah.
And they don't have to give a person's name. They can just indicate it's new. Or sometimes if the person shares it, they reshare it and say, oh, look, our follower was super happy, and look at them in our t-shirt or whatever it is you've given away.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, okay. So effectively what you're saying here is the thing that separates successful contests against unsuccessful contests is once the contest is structured, is actually getting out there and marketing the contest.
Yeah.
and that's important, because I think a lot of people miss that. They think the contest is just this magnet that's going to attract people.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. So it's okay. So let's get a little deeper here. So we set up our contest and we start marketing it. And this is where, I would like more clarity for our listeners as well, is when you're running a contest. I mean, as a business, our goal is to either get new leads into top of funnel or to move people through funnel to, a purchase. Where does the contest typically sit within that funnel?
Okay. It depends on why. So I always say to them, why do you want to run the contest? Well, I want to get more Facebook followers. Okay, we're going to structure this kind of contest. Oh, I want to get more newsletter subscribers. Okay, we're going to do this kind of contest. I want more YouTube subscribers. I want this kind of contest. I want people to come into my restaurant. Okay, we're going to have this kind of contest. You have to know your why. And this is typical for any marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you going to buy a billboard? Why are you going to buy a radio ad? What is your why? What's your end goal? And then structure your promotion around the end goal. Because once you know your why, it's easier to set up the promotion.
Right.
Correct? And then you can start to go through the next steps.
Right. And
also time your things. Today, there's a calendar out there. If you Google National holiday counter or hashtag calendar, you can go through every month and find the dates that are applicable to your business and host giveaways around those hashtags. There's National Coffee Day and there was International Women's Day, and there's International Donut Day and Burrito Day and Tea Day, and there's, you name it, there's a day for it.
Yeah. So, okay. So if I'm thinking in terms of where I would use use sweepstakes, the obvious one is new lead acquisition. Get it out there on social. Hopefully getting people to share it, getting more people to see it, but also converting my social audience who may not be in my lead list, my database yet, getting them to give me email addresses so I can market to them. So that's the obvious one to me. What I'm trying to now figure out is, okay, once I have a database, where am I going to utilize this, the contests to help convert more of those leads into customers? And so off the top of my head, I would think, okay, I could do a contest to showcase a new product where I give one away and get people excited about it. What are other ways that you see people using it within their internal databases? They already have the leads. They want to turn them into buyers.
Right. So one thing I always recommend is, once you have that, a lot of companies, and they do it, it's a good idea, is email everybody and say, thank you for entering our contest, announce the winner. Mm-hmm. And say, here's a 20% coupon for, this, or 15, or buy BOGO, or whatever your business is. Yeah. Or free appetizer, or free blow dry, or whatever your business is. You can consult that, or thank them. And if you're a consulting business, you can send them a free PDF booklet saying, thanks for entering, you didn't win, but here's a gift. Yeah. Just to keep them, sticking around and liking more stuff. And also, some companies have regular giveaways. There's some companies that have giveaways every Friday that I follow. And so I don't want to unfollow them because I know they're going to have another giveaway.
Another giveaway, right? Yeah.
And then what happened this year, I'm looking to upgrade the one company I follow. Where did you think I went and shopped?
Yeah.
I went and bought because I noticed they were having a sale. They threw out their non-sweepstakes post. I noticed they were having a clearance sale and I went, I need to go check that out. And I became a customer. Well, I had been a customer before, but I bought again.
And that's interesting. So it's ultimately an incredible sort of retention tool to keep people's attention, keep them engaged. So when they are ready to make that purchase. Another thing that I just want to point out for the listeners, which is a really important thing that you just said, and I imagine this is where a lot of businesses screw it up, is once you've given away the prize, everybody wins something, whether it's a coupon, a discount, but something to get them to engage with your business and become a customer. And even when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, I can use that. That's good. Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay. So, let's talk virality for a second, because, whenever anybody talks about contests, I know from a marketing perspective, they have this visual of a massive viral and everybody sharing it and all these new leads. And so my question to you is, looking across the sweepstakes, how many of them are actually really viral versus just being well marketed to their list as a tool to convert more customers or attract leads? Like, how many of them truly go viral? Is that something that they're really even shooting for?
I wouldn't shoot for going viral. So one of the things I have marketing clients, they come to me and they go, but your social numbers are really low compared to, I don't know what they think they should be, but I'm really proud of my list because I know they're all organic. There's no paid. And when I do those searches and they say, this many spam people, this many real people, it's like 95% real people.
Yeah.
And to me, I'd rather have less real people than a bunch of bots and who knows what else and
totally.
bot
It's
followers.
about quality, not quantity.
Exactly. So for example, a couple of years ago, I had a client who had sent this contest to 25 bloggers, including 2 sweepstakes bloggers. And they only there was 3 weeks left in the promotion and they had only 6,000 entries. So I said to them, I go around and I post it in all the sweepstakes groups and put it on my social and do this and that. And I said to them, I don't know, I can do 10, but they're like, we need 16. We promised our client 16. I'm like, I don't want to promise 16. I was too nervous to promise the high number. And they said, look, we can't afford to not do this. So here we're going to buy your gold service and please go and just do whatever you can. When that contest closed 3 weeks later, they had 22,000 entries.
Wow.
I alone had taken them from 6 to 22. Now that might not sound like a lot to some people because, for example, if you have a huge budget, you can viral the heck out of your contest. So for example, Taco Bell is famous for this. 20 years ago, do you remember? I'm dating myself now. They did when the Mir space station was coming down. You remember they put that huge 40 by 40 bullseye in the middle of the Pacific Ocean and said, if the Mir space station hits here, all of America.
Oh yeah. No, I remember that. Yep.
So they're big on it. Today is National Burrito Day. So they're buying it on that and they're giving away Bitcoin. So of course, when you do these crazy promotions, and 3 days ago, they sent out a press release. And then of course, because it's so insane, they're on CNN, they're in the New York Times, they're on, like, everybody's covering them. Well, you can't buy that kind of virality.
Yeah.
Right. Well, no, let me rephrase that. You just have to have a very big wallet.
Yes. Yes. You need to be Apple.
Right.
Yeah.
So most of us don't have I believe it's the Yum Corporation that owns them. We don't have that deep pocket to get us across every news outlet going, this is and the contest is only open for 9 hours.
Sure. Yeah.
It's crazy awesome. And the odds are dismal to win. Yeah. I'm not eligible to enter, but if I was, I'd be in there entering, because you never know.
Well, you don't win if you don't enter.
We can't win if you don't enter.
Yeah.
But it's, it's fun, but most people don't get that kind of virility.
No.
But yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. I interrupted you.
But if you're focusing on but you might not want that kind of virility.
Yeah.
If you've got a small legal practice, I don't know, I can't think of, or a hairdressing salon, you don't want to go national. You want to stay in your concentric circle around you, and you only want to market to these people anyway, because who's going to come in is these people in this area.
Yeah. Well, and that's an interesting point there, right? Like, going massive viral for a general brand like Taco Bell makes sense, but for most small businesses, you need to find a contest that appeals to and gets shared within your target customer base. So the leads you're getting have some future potential for your actual business. And I think the message just I want everybody to take away from that is, don't worry about viral, right? Like,
right.
That's not what it's about. And people go into this with that, the sexy viral vision in their mind, but that's not what it's about. So anyway, this has been absolutely fascinating. It's given me some serious insight into the sweepstakes market. Any final thoughts that you want to share before we wrap up?
Yeah, have a plan.
Yeah.
Plan it. Don't just do it for the heck of it. That's not gonna work. You want to have a reason to have a reason. Everything you do in your business should have a reason behind it. And so just do that make sweepstakes part. I'm so biased. They're so fun. Just make them part of your business plan.
Sure.
And then target the prize to who you're targeting. So if you're a hair salon, you're going to give away maybe a free haircut or a gift basket of shampoos and conditioners. If you're a restaurant, you're going to give away maybe some of your sauces that you sell, or a coupon for someone to do curbside pickup now.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're a consultant, you can give away some of your books or an hour of your time or an invitation. I'm giving away 50 free seats to my webinar, whatever it is. Different things. You can always find something to give away. I remember one consultant, just like I said, he was cleaning out all of his business books because he was clearing his office, and he gave away all of his business books, the ones that he had read, and then he signed them saying, I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. And he gave them all away, and people were just randomly getting business books.
That's great.
It was great. I got one and I read it and I loved it. And then I passed it on.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. Everybody listening, look around your office. You might have something in there that you can already give away and start generating leads. That's fantastic. All right. Well, I really enjoyed this conversation. But before we wrap up, one last thing. If people want to connect with you online, either to learn more about sweepstakes marketing for their business or how to actually win some sweepstakes, where do they go?
So if you want to understand marketing, go to ideamajesty.com. And if you want to learn how to win, contestqueen.com. I make it really easy.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Carolyn, for sharing your sweepstakes knowledge with our audience today. I truly appreciate it.
Thanks for letting me share. I love being able to help others win, and thanks for the opportunity.
Fantastic. And now for you guys, everybody listening, if you want to, as I always say, make this work for your business, you need to do something about it. And I love how simplified this has become through this conversation. Look around. What do you have that you could give away? Is it an hour of your time, some coaching online, something that has no hard tangible cost, money out of your pocket today? Is there something in your office that you think people would love that you could give away? You can use contests to start generating engagement, new leads, and it's a really cost-effective strategy when I look across so many of the strategies that are out there. But it's only going to work if you apply that one essential ingredient. And you know what that is? That is action. So go forth, take action. That's all for our show today. If you like what you heard, please leave us a rating and review on your favorite podcast app. And that's a wrap. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to another info-packed episode of the Project Ignite podcast with Derek Gale.
Any links mentioned, along with an entire transcript of this episode, can be found at projectignite.com/podcast.
And to make sure you never miss another episode, go to iTunes or SoundCloud now and subscribe.